don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.
That was beautiful, Jason.
Yeah, you like that?
Where I thought it was going.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
I have that song downloaded.
It's a great song.
It's a great song. I love that song.
So y'all may be wondering what we're singing here if you haven't watched the phenomenon that's taken over the world yet, but it is none other than Fallout.
Maybe.
On Amazon Prime. We're taking over our worlds, okay?
Yeah, it's
taking over our worlds, right? We're digging into the Fallout Prime show. It is finally here, and this particular episode is going to be talking about our mid-season review. So episodes 1 through 4. I'm going to preface, if you haven't watched episodes 1 through 4, there will be some slight minor spoilers, but nothing that's really game-breaking or anything like that. So just
game breaking.
yeah, you get it. You know, exactly. So we're going to talk about that and give you our impressions of whether or not you should pick up the show and start watching it, because that is what it is. So let's start off before we dive into deep details and stuff like that. Overall, Fallout the new season's here. We're watching it. It's created by the producers of Westworld, Jonathan Nolan, brother of Christopher Nolan, for those that may not be aware. Really cool cast there, or really cool, show running and stuff like that. But all that be said, how do y'all feel about the show overall so far without getting the details?
Me go first? You go first. I'll go first. Go first. The opening episode got me hooked. That's all I gotta say. It's colorful and all that other stuff, and some of the interactions with the I was about to say NPCs. Some of the interactions that they have with other characters is just defines this world, especially them being in the vault, them being outside of the vault in Philly, or just exploring the area is phenomenal. I do think it's funny in the beginning where Lucy was everything was kind of going down. I'm going to get into spoiler territory, but she slowly was upgrading her weapons as she progressed through. She at first had a knife, and then she picked up a tranq dart, and now eventually she gets guns. And it's just, I
never even thought about that.
I felt, I was watching that playthrough, and I was just this feels like a video game to me, just watching that. And then all of the background stories of all the characters is just so well developed, and fucking Walter Goggins, is that his name?
Walton Goggins. I was calling him Walter, but yeah, it's Walton.
That dude, hands down, I followed him ever since I watched Justified, and I love that character. I love that actor. He does a phenomenal job in everything, and I'm finally happy that he's in a show where he's basically one of the stars in the show. He's not a side character anymore, or a side actor. He is the star, and he is shining so fucking bright, and he's phenomenal. Especially in that opening scene. That opening scene got me hooked right there. So, go ahead.
Yes, no, everything that holds true to Fallout and stuff, I feel like it all plays very well. So, as it goes with feeling like a Fallout and all the things in the games, all the stuff that there are nods to this and that, and apparently there's a nod to a Fallout 4 theme that happens eventually.
Oh, really?
Which I heard about, and I was I'm excited for that because I love that theme. I mean, yeah. They have it all. So it's it stays true to the universe that we're in, which is awesome to see.
And Austin, you beat Fallout 3 and 4, right?
I did.
And then you did not play New Vegas.
Did not.
And didn't play the original 1 and 2, right? Before Bethesda. Okay.
Was it because Vegas the big popular one, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Which was made by Obsidian, the creators of Outer Worlds.
Yep.
And soon to be Avowed.
Okay. So one negative thing I heard was that Bethesda, Todd Howard, admitted that they have changed some of the lore in the Fallout universe, which may have retconned some stuff that happens in New Vegas.
Huh.
In the lore in the TV show, or in the games?
Well, Todd Howard considers the TV show as part canon to the universe.
Oh.
And because
I
haven't dug into it, but I have heard that some things have been changed in all of this. So I was like, that could be interesting. I want to dive in it more and see what it is. Mm-hmm. I didn't play New Vegas. I don't know how people feel. I'm sure some people are upset. But for me, it's just okay. I want to know about it, but it's not the game breaking thing for me.
Okay.
Game breaking.
I think what's good about the show is I'd never played a Fallout game, and
now
I want to. Like, I want to play a Fallout game, but I hate the gameplay of Fallout.
Yes.
So I'm not going to play it because I know I'm going to waste my money on it.
Yeah,
But
I went
like,
back to it recent Fallout 4. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, it is dated. But it still holds up. Like,
Still
you
holds
could
up.
still play it, and it's playable.
Okay.
I'll wait for the new update coming out, which is going to feature 60 frames per second on console and a couple other upgrades.
Maybe I'll jump into it. I
Yeah.
feel like that's another game. I'm not a fan of the gameplay mechanics of it, but I'm also not a fan of. It seems like it's going to suck my life away because of the decisions and all the other stuff that happens.
can.
You see, I'm
can.
kind of like, yeah. That's why I haven't finished Baldur's Gate 3, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, I feel like not even knowing the lore of Fallout or playing any of the games, I'm still highly enjoying this game, this TV show.
Yeah. It's all there.
Yeah.
Like there's good stuff. Like, with all the lore. I will say, the one huge negative I have is they have not mentioned the power that is utilized in this world, which is huge in the game.
Yeah.
It's nuclear power. Like they were able to harness nuclear power in small like capsules and stuff, especially for power armor. Like power armor, it has these capsules you have to go in there plugged into generators in Fallout 4, and you take those out, and that's what you use to power your power armor.
Give it time.
Okay. I just was amazed that it hasn't even
mentioned it.
And as where I stand now is like I feel like it's political because a lot of people aren't fond of nuclear technology right now.
I gotcha. Oh,
And so I was like, it is huge. Like it is everywhere. Like everything is powered by nuclear technology.
Okay.
And for it not to be mentioned like once, like
Okay.
at least in the first half,
yeah,
is insane.
yeah, just
Literally insane.
give it time.
Okay.
You'll see it, and because I was questioning that a little bit whenever I was starting to watch it, but because I figured they will show something about that in like the first couple of minutes of being in the vault and stuff like that, but they didn't. But eventually they mentioned that a little bit further down, and they actually show it and stuff like that.
Okay. So
but I don't.
Jason's a little farther along than we
Yeah,
are.
I am. I'm sorry. I'm on episode 6. Well, I finished 6. I'm on 7 technically, but yeah. Give it time. Give it time.
Because it's like it's just like in the world that you figure that out too. It's not just like people
that's what I was
talk
going to
about it.
ask you, if it was like in the world and people are like very well known about it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like whenever Maximus, I don't want to talk about that. But yeah, no, I get you. Just
Okay.
give it a little bit of time. I think what they were doing was setting up story plots leading up to that.
Okay.
And you'll see why later on. So.
Okay.
Interesting. I want to back up a little bit and
Sorry.
explain like the story of the show a little bit,
Please,
so people
please.
know what's going on.
You
So
don't need it.
so the show kind of starts off very similar to the games, in which you start off in a vault. You meet Lucy, who is in Vault 33, and she's about to get married to somebody from Vault 32 because she hasn't found a mate other than fun stuff with her cousin, which I think is very funny. And she encounters a mate, and very quickly they find out that Vault 32 is in fact overrun by raiders, and the raiders come in and they steal her dad, who is the overseer, and take him away, and that's what causes her to want to emerge from the vault and get out into the world and embark on her epic quest of Fallout 5. I mean, Fallout. And and then she goes out in the world, and as she exits the vault, you get introduced to a couple of new characters, one being Maximus, who is with the Brotherhood of Steel, and he is a rookie who isn't even doesn't even have a title yet. I don't think. He just picks up poop and stuff like that, basically, is what I kind of gathered. And then he one of his friends becomes a squire. He gets pissed off. He may or may not do something. We don't really know. And then he eventually becomes a squire and gets to go out with some power armor dude, King Titus.
So he's a squire for King Titus.
Yes, for King Titus. And then he eventually obtains said armor, gets in the armor at some point, and then embarks onto his storyline.
Spoiler.
I thought we weren't.
Jeez.
Like,
I mean, that's
that's
first.
whole episode 1.
That's episode 1, exactly. Yeah, and then after that, we're good. So
And then
yeah.
we talk about the ghoul, how he appears.
And then we have the ghoul
Who
that
he is.
appears, and then he's a dude that was in the very beginning.
Hey man, okay, hold on, stop.
Calm down.
I thought it was just an overview.
He was ripping our
It is an
ass about
overview,
giving spoilers
yeah.
and stuff. This is like
That's
a
all the
whole
first episode, man.
one.
It's his first episode.
That's still some good detail that like.
Yeah, I think that's a good deal.
Okay,
that's
fine,
good,
I'll
that's
stop.
good.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna
Just stop. So let's bring it back. How do you feel about Lucy? Well, let's go with characters right now.
My bad. I fucked up.
It's like holy hell! It's like good.
Just like
God.
most games, the
I did
show
say
starts
mild
out-
spoilers. You know, it's fine. You know,
The show starts out with nuclear explosion, so you
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
see
yeah.
that and experience, and it's
Exactly,
really cool.
yeah.
Like,
So
It's all good, yeah.
let's talk about that. Okay, let's bring it back.
So you
Let's
want to
talk
know my
about that.
opinion of the show?
Oh yeah, what's your opinion on the show?
Okay. So I think it's great. I think it's a great show. I think it's really good. I think they captured a lot of the things from the TV or from the video games really well. It's better than I expected, to be honest. I didn't know exactly what I was going to expect going into it, but
the trailers give you hyped.
the trailers are getting me hyped. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they were good. They were good. But once I got into the show, like sometimes like the trailers like show you all the things. They did show a lot of things in the first couple episodes, but like there's even more here that was like there were scenes in here in the first episode and the second episode that was like, damn, that's cool. And they didn't even showcase that, which was nice to see that not be showcased. But there was definitely a lot of really good the world building and the art style of this, or not the art style, but the art direction of this whole entire show is like fantastic.
Yeah.
Like the TVs and the signage and the music and like all the different things that come together like makes it feel sometimes it's even like more detailed than the games. You know, it's like they've captured some really good aspects to this world. All the different weird characters that you encounter along the way as each person is going on their adventure and on their journey, I think is really fascinating and cool and just like really exciting. And it's for me, it's honestly like getting up there in the level of Last of Us TV show.
Most definitely.
As far as like quality and stuff like that. Definitely better than Halo for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, I won't do any more spoilers. Like
Thank
I
you.
warned you guys of.
Jeez.
Like twice.
It's just the first episode. It's
Oh,
fine.
Atlanta.
It's fine.
Let's go into characters a little bit. How do y'all feel about Lucy? As
Oh, spoiler! Just kidding.
Lucy, one of the main characters. Actually, let's go with this. We talked about this prior whenever we watched the trailer, and we kind of like got our hype about it after South by Southwest. How do y'all feel about the style that they're going with, following these three characters, like bouncing back and forth? Do y'all feel?
I like it.
Yeah, I
Right.
like it too. I mean, the first two episodes are kind of like what I had talked about. Like they're gonna have those
Exactly.
vignettes of each character, and eventually they come together.
Yeah.
which they did in the end. But I thought it'd be more of like episode per episode.
Not
we-
one episode. Like I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
because they're all the vignettes are in one episode, which is fine, which is like normal. I feel like I thought it'd be different, but I mean, it works. It works.
Yeah, I like the fact that you don't spend because sometimes it can get a little stale just following a singular character in one
character.
episode. I appreciate that they are jumping around a little bit, and I also like that they're still giving us insight, unlike the games I've ever done, to the vault after somebody leaves the vault.
Yeah.
I feel like once you leave the vault, it's like you don't know anything about the vault anymore.
Yeah.
But we're still getting information into like what's going on in the vault world while everybody else. It's basically like 4 scenarios happening at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually there's like everyone's dead in the
Yeah,
vault, so you're like, I'm
true.
leaving.
Yeah.
Like Fallout, we're watching some Fallout 4 footage, and this guy is cryo chambered, and he wakes up eventually, and he's like, "Oh,
Dead.
everyone's dead. I'm leaving."
Okay, so how do y'all feel about Lucy, one of the vault hunters that we follow? Or the
Awesome.
majority one.
Didn't like her at first,
Okay.
but now that we're starting to see more of her growth and how she's changing her arc, like it's a lot more. It's a lot better.
Oh yeah, most
like her a lot
definitely.
better.
Because we deal with someone that's been locked up in a vault, and they follow these like golden rules and stuff. And they treat everyone equal. They do all this other stuff, and then she goes into a world that is not like that. It's like kill or be killed. You know. And
She was sheltered, no pun intended.
sheltered. Yeah, there you go, sheltered. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I like to see. I see her progression, and then the interactions that she has with other people making fun of her and stuff like that. It's almost like a Drax scenario from Guardians of the Galaxy. They understand things, but not fully understand the real world and the metaphors and all that stuff. So, okay, why about Maximus, one of the Brotherhood people?
I hate him.
Hate him.
Yeah. I don't hate.
I could
Go
dive
ahead.
into it, but
Yeah,
if
you dive
want-
in
Yeah,
first,
dive
and then
into it.
I'll jump
Okay.
into it.
Well, at first it started off fine. It's like, okay, cool, Brotherhood. Honestly, I don't remember too much of the Brotherhood.
Okay.
But I felt like they were the good guys of the Wasteland. But with that being said, everything is morally gray in the end. Like, just because people come out and seem like they're good guys, like there's always something else in the end. So that's like always something that goes on with each faction that you run into. I think that's part of the narrative overall for each game, because you're figuring out like, oh, what choices am I going to make? Like, how far am I going to go with a group of people? Because you don't know if, like, you know, how far is too far in the end. Mm-hmm. And so kind of waiting. I mean, I knew that about the Brotherhood. They're not all good, but I felt like they're supposed to be a little, I don't want to say better, but like the way that they were treated just seems like they're all bad, which is fine. Because, you know, obviously different factions within each faction, or different sects within each faction, probably act a little differently.
Yeah.
But going on to him and seeing him and how he like viewed them as like these saviors, and then we get, oh shit, I can't even spoil that.
So
Well, I guess Brady spoiled it, so I'll talk about
Go ahead.
my issues with it. I feel like they're treating this character like Finn up into episode 4, but you don't even see him in episode 4. And Finn in Star Wars, where at first he had this great potential to be something awesome, but then come, you know, towards the last 2 movies of that series, he was just a comedic relief. And so, and that's how black people are treated most of the time. And I felt like we were getting that here. Well, at least in the past, they were treating black people were initially there for comedic relief, like going all the way back to like 50s, 60s, stuff like that. Obviously, they've come a long way. But I felt like that here. And the reason that people bring up about Finn is that, you know, because they were going to market that movie in China. And so here, I feel like they're actually being a little racist. Now, I haven't seen the full show, but I felt like the way that he is evolving as a character, and he finally gets the suit, as Brett said, he's acting like the guy before him who was treating him like shit. And he goes on to be like, oh, you don't deserve this suit. And he puts the suit on. And what does he do? He's acting just like the other guy. Now, he's evolving over time, but I just felt like the way that he's been left at this point in time just didn't sit well with me. And I'm like, he could have been a better guy. He could have been like, you know what? Brotherhood needs to change. They're shitty. I feel like I'm better, and I'm going to treat someone else how like I want to be treated. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I gotcha. But he idolizes the knights because they saved him. So
Right.
he feels like, yes, and how he was raised is that these are the guys, these are the good guys.
Right.
And whenever instilled in him since he was young that they were supposed to be the good guys, and he came to the realization that this one knight was not a good guy and he doesn't deserve the armor. Yeah, I can see why he would think that. We see that his morals are very unbalanced, especially when he finally does meet up. Well, no, I'm going too far. Whenever he finally has a point in his story arc where it's going to change, you're going to see why it changed. And you're going to see how it progresses. The same way with Lucy. Lucy's a comedic relief, obviously. She deals with, it's not just on him alone. It's on both of them on different aspects. She was sheltered. He was not. He was actually in this world. She was not. So they both have different aspects. And I think for both characters, for both of them to change and be a well-rounded person, they need to know each other and round it out together. I think that's what they're leading towards more.
I would hope so. Obviously, we haven't gotten past episode 4.
Don't get me wrong.
So
I don't
things
like,
might change.
I don't like Max as a character at all until I hit episode like 6. And he started rounding out a little bit because you realize how sheltered he was, even though he wasn't in a shelter. How, like, he doesn't understand life, even though he thinks he does. And his morals are like unbalanced because it comes to a point where in the beginning you're thinking it's all about himself. And that's the only thing he's focused in on. And it's still to that point, you know? You're just kind of like uneasy about him. I actually enjoy the character. I don't like him personally, but I'm waiting for that turn to make me feel, okay, I feel for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there is too much comedic relief in here.
Yeah?
I do. Well, some of the points that they hit, I'm just like, yeah, it's funny, but like, was it necessary? Because we have an issue with other films and other shows where they just use it so often. It's like, okay, now it's just campy. Like, there's no reason for it.
Is that not how the game is?
there's funny moments in the game for sure, but like overall, I feel like it's more of like a serious toned experience. It's like this is a post-apocalyptic world. Like it's brutal out here.
Yeah.
Like you got to survive. Like around every corner, something's trying to kill you, and like you get that sense. But I think some of those funny moments take away from it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like the comedy. I think it fits just right, and I think it's
I thought it did too.
appropriate in the space just because of the. Now I don't see Maximus as comedic relief at all. Is that what you were saying?
That's what he's the main comedic relief. I see.
I don't think there's ever been comedy from him.
I think there's points in it that are even compared to Lucy. There's still serious stuff that's happening, but there's still like comedic relief involved with it. And I think it's happening on both ends evenly.
Yeah, but I feel like there's never been anything funny with Maximus the entire time he's been in the show.
There has been.
Like what?
Like even in
The way his character's portrayed and the way he acts. Like if you go back and watch Finn.
Well,
Star Wars.
I see relationships to Finn.
Okay.
But I don't see that being funny. Like I feel that he's gone through like hardships and he's being kind of a little baby in like the hardships that he's enduring, and he's being self-centered and self-motivated, but I've never laughed at anything that Maximus has experienced or encountered throughout the show.
I haven't either.
But
I'll bring up moments.
But like what? Like yeah.
I'll
But
bring
that's
up
why
some
I'm like,
moments
what
that
is
are-
the comedic
It's
relief?
not full on. It's even to me.
Because I see Lucy having a lot of comedic relief. Because I mean, like the whole line at the very, very, very beginning about like you know, sex stuff with her cousin or whatever. Like that was hilarious. And that was silly, you know. But like I feel like with Maximus, he was just constantly being like beat down.
Yeah.
And like getting hit with like so many. I mean, they were like beating up on him, which I mean, maybe that's funny, but I don't think that's. I wasn't laughing
I think
at
what I'm trying
that.
to say
But
is the way that Finn acts in the Star Wars films
yeah,
just made him like lesser, and he was like a backseat character. Now it's not the same for this one because obviously he's one of the main characters.
Yeah.
But the way he acts in as his role,
yeah,
like just makes him seem like he's lesser.
but it's not comedic though.
I guess I'm using comedic relief because like he's acting like a child, and the stuff that he does like just doesn't like it doesn't feel right, especially if he's with the Brotherhood. He's been trained.
Yeah.
Like he's had boot camp. Like he should be able to take on some of these guys. Just if you go back and just watch it, just try to see if you can see what I'm seeing.
I see what you're saying. I just think the choice of words is wrong. Because I don't think it's comedic relief. I think it's just that he's like a private in this situation. He's getting shit on and beat down and this, that, whatever. And he's like, he's that guy that's there for the sake of you want to feel sorry for him. And then maybe the same way that like you do for like Finn, you know, but Finn was a slightly different story because he was trying to disband from something that he genuinely didn't agree with.
Right.
Whereas in this case, Maximus believes in the Brotherhood, but then he's being shown that they're not who he thought they were this entire time, and he's like struggling with that.
He's ignoring
I have no problem with
He's
that.
ignoring all that. He still thinks the Brotherhood is the Brotherhood. Like
Yeah, I
he's
have no
still
problem with it,
100% for them.
But like I feel like when I mean, again, some spoiler
I'm
stuff.
trying to
but
find
like,
the right words here to
And to be
help
honest,
explain this
like
better.
both of them, Lucy and Maximus both act like children. They both, to an extent, act like children. She is very naive, and he is just very self-centered and just wants to focus in on him. So,
And
I don't know.
I think the naivety is that like the big. It's like they've been sheltered their entire lives,
Yep.
and that's they're starting to see the world for what it is in different ways, and it's just like when you like have somebody who's like. For example, grows up super religious their entire lives and never gets exposed to anything. And all of a sudden they go to college and it's like,
homeschool kids.
yeah, they see drugs and this and that, whatever. And they just like go to crazy because they just have never seen it. And they're like, there's all this stuff out there. It's like, I feel like the same kind of
You're
idea here,
Just wait. You just got, it's going to end where both of these characters are going to be well-rounded and they're going to survive this whole apocalypse fallout shit.
Yeah.
I've just seen characters like Maximus in other shows and content, and they get treated the same way. And I see a lot of similarities right now with where his character's at and what he's been through.
Yeah.
And like for someone who's supposed to be one of the main characters, obviously, yes, there's going to be growth and stuff. but I just feel like I don't like this character. Like he hasn't changed at all. Like Lucy's, it's like, okay, I get it. You've come from where you've been and now you're over here.
Yeah.
And him is just like, he's just getting beat down. I'm like, man, for someone supposed to be like one of the main characters, he's not going to be invincible. Like Lucy's not invincible.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't seem like a strong character. He's just like,
and I 100% agree with you. I just don't disagree. I don't agree with the comedic relief representation because I don't think that makes sense. But I agree. I don't like his character right now. But I'm also hoping, like you said, Jason.
Here's another thing about
he'll come back.
You got to think about it this way too.
Yeah.
We pulled Lucy out of a vault. Of course, we're going to see a lot more character development. Let's throw fucking Max into a vault and see where that goes. He's already known of this place. He knows how to work it. He knows what to do, and he's always like that. That is his characteristic. Is he knows the outside. Lucy doesn't. Give it time. There is a turning point that's going to like these characters are going to be well rounded.
Yeah. No, I think so too. I'm hoping that there's going to be a nice arc for them. Because I mean, I agree with you, Austin, about like not liking, and all of us don't like his character right now.
I don't like him.
But I am also like, I'm hoping that there's a redemption story for him where it's like, yes, like he's got his redemption. He's overcome the struggles that he has. Like right now, I'm hoping it's intentional that we're not supposed to like his character. Because I've listened to some people talk about reviewing the show that they've seen the full show and they were like, I didn't like Maximus. Now I like the guy. Like they have seen that transition happen. So
and it'll probably make the character even better after that. You know what I mean? But let's agree on one character because I feel like everyone likes him.
Oh, I fucking hate this guy. I'm just kidding.
That's the Ghoul.
yes.
Like, come on, dude. Every time he shows up on screen, I am fully aware and paying attention. I want to know more of his storyline. I'm on episode 6 and I haven't got the full gist of it. But boy, and then what was it, episode 3, where they did a kind of reveal on who he kind of is?
Yeah.
Fucking
some backstory.
Away, dude. I was just like, I kind of knew it, but I didn't want to like believe in it. But yeah. Fucking the Ghoul is a badass motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
And his story arc from where he changes from like being the good guy to being the bad guy. I want to see that. I can't wait to see what broke him.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. And Walter Goggins, I'm so happy he's in this, and I'm so happy that he's actually shining, and he's not a side character or a supporting actor. He is a star of the show to me.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting. He's so multi-layered in like different parts of his like. He's a bad guy, but then he's got so many likable pieces, and there's things where he's like shows semblance of like good to him, and it's like, and you know where he came from. Exactly.
Yes,
yeah. It's
exactly.
like. He's got all these like likable traits, and I'm like, shit, like he's done such a good job at capturing that.
I'm not gonna lie, if he dies in the end of this, I'm not watching it anymore. I'm fucking done, dude. He needs to be like the OG of this series. If they
I don't know how they plan to go forward because I mean, honestly, like the games, each game you're in a different vault.
Yeah.
So it might be like, oh, we're going to go somewhere else.
Bring in new cast and stuff like that. I can
keep it fresh.
I'll probably still watch it then. But like, God, dude, he is shining, man. I love it. I fucking love it.
Yeah. It's so one thing too. Oh shoot, I don't know if I want to talk about that. I don't know. There's just so many interesting pieces of like background lore that they've introduced in this world because we haven't even talked about the dog and the scientists and stuff like that. But I don't know if we want to go deep into that part at all. But like, I mean, that's an interesting piece of that. It's like a whole nother aspect of the world that we're exploring that I think is really cool.
So that's another thing I was going to bring up. How do y'all feel about the hook of the show? Like the mystery behind everything.
I like it.
Like I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting there to be a underlining mystery to the vaults, to why the atomic bombs happen, to the nuclear fallout, to everything else. And that has me hooked because I want to see it. It's like almost watching Lost or Westworld. It's just like they have a hook there that makes you want to keep watching it. And I think they did it really well, and it was very unexpected to have a hook like that.
It definitely has a Westworld mystery tone to it. I hope that when we get to season 2, which they were renewed for already, that they don't lose it like they did with Westworld a little bit, you know, because once they got to season 3, I was like, shit. They're like going downhill with this, but I mean, they have a lot of source material here
Yeah.
to work from, which is very exciting. I don't know, Austin, what do you think?
About what?
What were we just talking about?
Oh, the show's
Mystery
great.
and the lore. Stuff.
Well, I feel like that's just kind of like over my head in a way because like I've played the games, so it's like yeah, there's nuclear explosions. Like I don't care where they come from. I just know what happens. Obviously, I do know where they come from and like all that stuff behind it. So here I'm just like want to focus on how true to the games that they are. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Do you think that hinders your fucking watchability, like to like enjoy the story at all?
No.
Okay.
No. The only thing that would hinder it is characters.
Yeah.
But so far, the best storyline is Ghoul and Lucy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's all I want to see. Like
Okay.
episode 4 was all of them. I was like, this is perfect.
Well,
Oh
it
no,
is
I take
so-
it back. I don't like how they're cutting away and going back into the vault in that episode. Like I wish that vault.
Oh, I love that.
I wish like it was its own thing because I'm like, ooh, there's mystery and intrigue, and then we pull away and we go back to Lucy and the Ghoul.
Oh, I see.
And I'm
Okay.
like, oh, I'm like intrigued on this story now, and then it's like, oh, we're going back to the
You
vault.
want to keep going.
I'm like,
down
dang
that
it.
path,
Wanna-
yeah.
See, Stop
and that's
pulling
what
me
I'm-
left and
That's what
right.
I'm saying. The hook, it makes you want to keep watching
Yeah,
because you're
yeah.
like, I want to know what's happening. So,
Yeah.
I do think those transitions are kind of awkward because they almost like cut it off like, oh, this could be the end of an episode, and then they like go to something else.
In a sense, I do kind of
But
see that a
that's just
little
kinda
bit. Like I
nitpicky.
think it could be
Yeah.
interesting to go because it's like look in The Last of Us. It's like they had that one episode that was like, here's the backstory to Bill and Frank or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's like that was a whole sequence that was just a really good contained story.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think there could be like some benefit to having the vault be that contained story. But I still like that Ghoul episode holistically was just like eerie and weird.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
regardless of where you were, it was like there was a tone that was consistent from start to finish. Whereas like episode 2 and 3, it was a lot of like journey. It was traveling. You were like on a long ass journey or whatever. The first one was all the setup, but then it's like tonally they're consistent, which I
Yeah.
think is good. Even though they're jumping around, they're keeping the tone consistent from episode to episode.
I got figured out what I wanted to say earlier.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So outside of the Ghoul, like the men in the Brotherhood are all just like child stupid idiots.
Welcome to the military.
I get that.
Real life.
I get that.
Real
But there are
life,
good
baby.
people in there.
Yeah, there's
and you
always
have
good
commanders
people,
who
but there's
like,
always bad people too.
You're right,
Just
you're right.
because you have a title to your name, police officer or firefighter or fucking military member of the United States Air Force or Army or Marines, you're always going to bring in bad people.
Yeah,
There's
every
always
time.
going to be bad
Every
people.
time.
And there's always going to be hazing nonstop. Hazing to that extent is a little much, but
But is it though?
they tied me up
I know.
and threw sour milk and eggs all over me for my first deployment and shaved my head.
I've heard some of your people and your banters with your coworkers, man. I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's
Now,
not much different.
It's not well. It is. You
you didn't have them beat them on the
people,
ground. Yeah, that's true.
but there is a
It can go
lot
too
of
far.
hazing. It can go too far. Yes,
But I think it also hardens you in a positive way. But yes, it can always go too far.
goes way too far. It's human. It's just
Yeah.
human nature. And plus,
But-
you're always going to have bad people.
But I think we see that trope in a lot of films these days, and a lot of shows, is like the men are stupid, bumbling idiots who can't get anything right, and they're just like, they're kind of weak.
Nail
Like,
hammer.
I just want to see somebody who's like, okay, I'm trying to be better, and I might stumble along the way and do a lot of mistakes, but at least I'm trying. And I wanted to see that in Maximus.
Halo. You need to watch Halo.
yeah, you do need to watch Halo. Actually,
I'm not gonna watch it.
there's a lot of that shit in Halo.
Anyways,
It's not men, it's women, but it happens.
So that's what I was hoping for his character. Like I didn't expect him to be perfect. I didn't expect him to be invincible.
yeah.
I expected him to try to just be better, and yeah, he might try to change that in the future episodes. But I felt like for this, like I wanted to see him at least try.
Okay.
And there was a point where he gets the suit and he gets the squire, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be like this other guy. I have power now. Here, clean my cock shield."
Yeah.
I'm like, ah,
but he eventually changed it. He had a change of heart.
I know. I'm just
He
like,
did.
Yeah.
you could just like be like, I'm gonna be better, because that's what he said right before he got the suit. He's like, you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Like someone better should hold it. And
Yeah, but
I'm
the
like,
reasoning why he
and-
did all that shit was he thought was legit.
still, he could have wrote his character
Yeah,
better.
I don't know. When you and I were talking before we started recording, you made me kind of appreciate that arc a little bit better. and I was like, okay, I kind of see where they're coming from now, and it made more sense. I agree with you more, and now I kind of less. I mean, I still agree. I don't like the character, but I see where they're coming from more than I did previously, and I'm like, okay, I kind of get it now.
And I don't want to get into that
Yeah.
spoiler territory.
Yeah, try not to go there. But anyway, that was my thoughts with watching it with that character. It's just
Let's
like
give it time.
I thought he'd be like. I mean, you can even make it where he's like has to act like an idiot. He's like, oh, King Titus is like the worst one of us all, and he's like, fuck, I have to act like this guy, and I think that would make more sense. He's like, well, I got to keep this facade up and stuff, and then he starts helping his squire, and the squire's probably like,
I think for him, it was definitely
you're so nice. What the heck? Well, obviously, he's done that.
It's a revenge situation because he knows this guy. This guy was shitty to him, so he's gonna be shitty back to him too.
Yeah.
Because he can now, I don't know. I can see that a little bit.
Cycle, and that's all that happens.
But I would like to see King Titus be there more, where he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be good," and he keeps getting pushed down to the point where he gets like really beat down. He's like, "All right, I'm not gonna do it." Like it all happened really quick.
Yeah,
and it's like I didn't want to see this guy being like, "You know what? You treat me like shit. I'm just gonna let you die."
Yeah,
like you figured there'd be a little more growth with all of that.
Yeah,
a little more like
I think there
uphill.
was a shit ton of growth whenever he did that. And then whenever they finally sat down and talked about him himself, and he came to a realization that it is a vicious cycle and I don't need to do that. And even when it got to a point where he was going to fight something, the squire was going to go do it. And he told him, no, I got it. Just get back, cover me.
Yeah.
So I think right there, that little bit of fucking growth was...
Yeah, that's true.
It happened fast. Yes, I agree with you. But like he came to a realization that it is a vicious cycle and he shouldn't be like that. So it's a slow growth. And we're going to see more of it as you progress through the show. And I think we'll appreciate the character at the end. I still don't like him. I fucking still don't like him. But like, I'll defend him a little bit. There is growth. It's just not as strong. Because we see strong growth with Lucy because she's in an environment that she's not used to. So.
You know what character I really like, which I was very surprised by?
What?
I like her brother in the vault. I think he's a really interesting character.
You're right. Because I hated him at first, and now I really like him.
Yeah, like he was this little like dude that was just on his little pit boy, just like a little like outcast or whatever. But like, I just love the mystery he's chasing and how he's like so focused on this like this thing, and he's like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, and like his like interaction with the Raiders, and like he's just I don't know, he's got an interesting allure about him that I appreciate a lot. He's a little short dude, but he's just like...
Well, see, they wrote his character better than they wrote Maximus. And that's why I have upset.
My favorite character is the dog. I love the fucking dog.
Oh, man, that dog. I love the dog.
He's not a character. He's a prop. I'm kidding.
He's so
I love that dog.
Dude. If anything happens, I don't want to get into that. But yeah.
I'm going to say this because it wasn't the trailers. I don't want to spoil anymore. But he comes out with that freaking hand in his mouth. Like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. It's so funny.
It's good.
Overall, it's a great series. So
yeah. I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
I'm ready to watch
You're
it.
one episode away.
Two.
It's 8 episodes.
I thought you were on 7.
I'm on 7, so 2.
I
haven't started.
I gotcha.
But I think this is a show I would most definitely rewatch again.
Yeah. Well, so actually, it's funny you mentioned that. So after I after we left Austin's house, I actually came back and I was like, you know what? I just want to watch
I did the same thing.
Yeah, I want to watch it again. I was like working, so I turned on episode 1 again, and I noticed like 5 or 6 things that I missed from that first episode after watching the second time. So I kind of do want to go back and watch it again because there's a lot of little nuggets.
Oh yeah,
strewn throughout the whole entire thing. That I was like, oh shit, that's really interesting, and different and weird. And
I just want to rewatch it for that opening scene for the first episode.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Phenomenal.
Little thumb.
Yeah.
It's bigger. And it's like, hey, thumbs up. And you realize what that's all about later on. Oh my God, so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fallout TV show. It is out for everybody to see and watch. Y'all should go check it out if you haven't yet. If you don't even know anything about Fallout, I think it's still going to be a show worth watching. 100%. I will say it's very violent and bloody, but it's great.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
so
dude,
much.
Unexpected too, how bloody it got. I was
oh
like,
my
holy
God,
shit.
dude. Yeah. There's no holding back.
So colorful.
Yeah.
You know? And just blood.
And meanwhile, you got like Johnny Cash, like fun light music playing in the background, and then like blood splatter.
Someone
And I like the moments how like they kind of like infuse whatever's happening and they cut straight to the title sequence and see like blood splatter on the title or bullet holes across the title. It's really cool. So yeah, it's a great show. I'm really enjoying it. So check it out. Fallout. It's out now. We'll be back later on probably with a full review with spoilers galore once we finish the show next podcast. So stay tuned for that.